Blood Surge used to have a huge essence issue. I fixed that. Just holding down my 2 button here right now. Nothing else. Just holding down my 2 button. And we're still holding it down. And we're still holding it down. Now you're asking, does this work against bosses? It does. And we just recently cleared our first tier 100 dungeon with level 91. Fantastic. Not only do we have infinite essence, we're also ultra tanky, just zooming through tier 100 nightmare dungeons. And the best part, every single kill also restores essence, but that's for the Paragon section later. Now don't worry, we'll also show you a full boss fight and a tier 100 run through at the end of the video to give you a feeling for it. 3 key components and a bunch of things that make it work. First, the one ring to rule them all. Exposed Flesh. Up to 10% chance to generate 42 essence when hitting a vulnerable enemy. Now, that's not that good technically with Blood Surge, because Blood Surge has a lucky hit chance of 17%. That's horrible. And we'll definitely try it out with Bloodlands as well, because Bloodlands has a 47% lucky hit chance. But you're actually not lucky hitting with Blood Surge. Well, you are, but what you're lucky hitting with is Corpse Explosion, which is a 57% lucky hit chance. There's also Corpse Tendrils with a 29%, and that on every target they hit. And last but not least, we got Bone Storm that also has a 57% lucky hit chance. Just a quick calculation for the people that don't know how lucky hit works. It is the 50% of Corpse Explosion times the 10% of what you get here. So 50% of the times you have a 10% chance to generate essence. That is a 5% chance on hit to produce essence on every target you hit. Doesn't sound like a lot, but you just saw it happens continuously. Now the very interesting part is the Exposed Flesh Ring plus the Sacrilegious, because this allows me to continuously cast Blood Surge, while my Corpse Explosion, my Corpse Tendrils are just automatically being cast as I am just standing there. These 2 parts together help me to continuously produce essence, but that's not all of it. There's something in the Paragon board that makes it even better, because right now I almost have 200 essence, not 100, not 110, almost 200. And that is so important for this build. But let's run down first the rest of the equipment. We're also using the Lidless Wall, because the Lidless Wall gives us the bonus Bone Storms. The bonus Bone Storms is bonus critical strike and damage reduction, and they're happening continuously. And the best part is that with the Blood Surge hitting everyone in a room, you just continuously make them everywhere around you. And if you pair the Lidless Wall together with the aspect of the Shielding Storm, you essentially have a build that can continuously move, zoom, clap, and never die. Now we're working on 20,000 plus life, plus 20,000 plus Barrier, 40,000 life with a good armor percentage, being absolutely undying in the new content to come and right now already. I mean, hell, I'm doing tier 100 dungeons with level 92 on 8,500 armor. I should die. Now we're currently also using Soul Brawn. That can be replaced through a chest with total armor percentage. It has lucky hit chance while you have Barrier, Barrier generation, maximum life, and damage reduction from close enemies, plus 20% damage reduction when you have Barrier. That's a 40% damage reduction continuously and more lucky hit. That lucky hit just stacks so nice up that we can trigger our lucky hits we need. That's also missing on this ring right now. It has overpower damage, physical damage, life regeneration, and maximum life. I would need either critical strike chance or critical strike chance and lucky hit chance 100%. It's so important. Talking about lucky hit, your gloves. Willpower, intelligence, lucky hit, and blood surge. If I could replace willpower intelligence through crit chance and crit damage, this would be the perfect glove. It also has the key aspect. Blood Surge Novas again after short delay, dealing 55% less damage. Well, 55% less sounds bad, but if you do a 3 million hit and 8 million hit, well, the second Nova doing 55% less damage, who cares, right? It's another 4 million coming out, and it's absolutely possible to get this continuously out. And the second Nova can also lucky hit. Interesting. Now, if you ever manage to actually run out of essence, especially in boss fights, there can be no lucky hit hitting sometimes. You do have T-Bolt's Will. T-Bolt's Will gives you the damage multiplier and 50 essence when you become unstoppable. Now, since we have our Vampiric Power Metamorphosis on level 1, I get unstoppable every 2 seconds instead of every 4 seconds, making it possible for me to continuously get even more essence if needed. And here's the trick, the lucky hit from Metamorphosis, when you're dashing through someone and doing damage, kind of works to also trigger exposed flesh. And now since I have 200 essence, I can regain so much more with a couple of lucky hits. We'll talk about that in the Paragon section. T-Bolts will also gives us plus maximum essence, and this has a max roll. Very important. The flicker step boots are optional, but I just like them too much because they're my cooldown reduction for Bone Storm. Technically, you don't need a cooldown reduction because you have it permanently active, but I'm not running any curse in this build because we simply don't have the space for any curse in this build. Therefore, we're going for the flicker step. You definitely want to have movement speed though on your boots because you need movement speed for the Ravenous Vampiric Power. It also gives you damage reduction from close. Why not take it? Second final item is the Banished Lord's Talisman. That one is absolutely optional. It makes your critical strikes overpower 120%. Every 300 resource, you get a free overpower 2. And you've seen how we're just blasting out our essence, regaining our essence. We now have 180 essence already. If I blast that out and only get a few lucky hits, 2 lucky hits, 3 lucky hits, we're almost there already for the 300 straight away. And you just permanently get it. Plus, this gives you critical strike chance, overpower damage, resource gen, and ranks to all core skills, bringing our blood surge up to 11 out of 5. Now as the final piece, you want the Grasping Veins, because Grasping Veins are the bonus critical strike chance for the Banished Lord's Talisman. And yes, your overpowers can critical strike. It's just too good. Here we're also looking for overpower damage, critical strike damage. All stats doesn't hurt. I would prefer vulnerable or core skill damage to boost things even more, and we're using a wand for the bonus lucky hit chance intrinsic value. Now alternatively, over the Banished Lords, you could take Untimely Death. Each percent of your maximum life you heal beyond 100% grants you 0.5 X bonus overpower damage on your next overpowering attack, up to 60% bonus. That on an amulet would be a 90% bonus. So every overpower you do, overhealing yourself as we're overhealing ourselves with every single blood surge by a significant margin, continuously empowers our overpowers, which is a realistic option to the amulet. Especially then you could go on an amulet with Tides of Blood to multiplicatively boost your overpower damage on top of that from 15 to 30%. And while healthy, that is doubled. So right now it's 30 anyways, and we could put it up to 60% in total on everything we do. So that's kind of nice. Both are great choices. We might need more defense than more damage in the Abattoir Zier. So I'll keep this open for a total armor percentage amulet. Do actually have this one waiting for me, like with 15% total armor, rings and Tides of Blood, slow damage reduction is Shin. But you could also take essence cost reduction on this one to then be able to do even more blood surges, because essence cost reduction goes up to like what, 26% total. It's quite nasty. Now the Vampiric Powers are key, and then I'll explain you what specialty we actually did in the Paragon board, and it's so damn good. And lastly, we're going to give you an example on how to actually run through a nightmare dungeon, so you just have a feeling for it, how much joy this build actually is. Plus, we'll present a boss fight to you. Now, step 1 was Metamorphosis. We talked about it, but you also need Sanguine Brace. That keeps you continuously fortified topped up. Plus, actually, this 8% critical strike chance is kind of nice to have the overpower crits happen all the time. In order to have everyone always vulnerable, technically you have Corpse Tendrils and Metamorphosis, but practically that doesn't work. So we need to play a Cursed Touch. Yes, a Cursed Touch. Up to a 44% chance to inflict Vampiric Curse on enemies, and inflicted enemies can spread it around. This continuously keeps vulnerable up everywhere. You walk in, 1 blood surge, everyone is vulnerable. And you can't just simply do this with Metamorphosis, because Metamorphosis you need to dash and then So with the Accursed Touch, and then paired together with Prey on the Weak, everything always permanent vulnerable. Else you would have to wait for Corpse Tendrils to pull everything together every single time before you start blasting, and that's Shin. Finally, there's also the Ravenous Vampiric Power for the bonus attack speed, because I don't have the aspect slots to play Rathma's Chosen, which I would really like to play, but this gives you also 50% bonus attack speed, like Rathma's Chosen would give you 50% bonus attack speed on overpowers. This one gives it to you on every attack possible. Now, yes, we're missing Blood Boil, no 20-second overpower bonus, but due to the effect of restoring our essence permanently, We don't really need it that desperately. Could possibly tack it back in though versus Uber Lilith, because then a Cursed Touch is not needed when you're fighting a boss, and the Blood Boil would actually provide you with a better bonus against bosses than the Accursed Touch would. Because against bosses, you can Metamorphosis through. It's a single target. Might simply carry another chest piece with 5 skulls with you to just swap in for a boss fight. Now you can see my 173 essence here, and that's not over equipment, that's also Paragon board, but it's so important because if I'm already blasting my shit out, I'm down to 60. And if I now actually do hit my lucky hit twice, I get 80 plus. But if I only have 100 essence, 80 plus on 60 is one of the lucky hits wasted. Why would we do that? So to create like a higher ceiling, a higher return factor, if I triple trigger it on 20 mobs around me, I suddenly go from 20 and then I get another 120 essence plus. And else I would just only get 80 plus. It's so useful to max out that essence. Now in the Paragon board, we start with a standard sacrificial glyph in here to get the bonus on the magic nodes to just get more armory. Then we're going still into the Bloodbath board, and here we're currently using Exploit for the bonus vulnerable damage, but also the multiplicative stacking damage that it brings. And then we're actually going into the Bone Graft board to the right side. There is not only a lot of max life to be had here and armor, you can also play the critical strike damage glyph. Might actually swap this over as soon as it's 15 to the left side, because here I get easier access to the double dexterity nodes, and the exploit just goes over here to be 25 down. So just swap these two around. And then lastly, we're actually choosing the reinvigorate node. It gives us 16 maximum essence, but it also gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 essence on kill on top as we're zooming through the dungeon. So we're not only returning 42 on lucky hit, also getting a safe 4 essence on every single kill. The cool thing is that due to the Sacrilegious ring with the auto corpse explosions, we can also play Flesh Eater because we're finally consuming corpses and we get these 40% multiplicative bonus damage every now and then. Here we can also swap in the Overpower glyph. Right now it's at 27 Overpower, but this glyph will actually be swapped over to the Send of Death board because there's just more willpower here. For the full 100 version, there's a link in the description below. And lastly, you can still go into the Send of Death board to actually clap even more critical strike damage and critical strike damage here, and again put on the Overpower glyph. And if everything works out and I have enough points, I will sneak my way into the Blood Begets board, and the only reason we're going into this is to grab ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 overpower damage, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's the amount of points we would need bonus, because this is such a powerful node. It gives us 90% overpower plus and a 10% damage. It's incredible. Very important things in your skills now. First, you want Initiate's Hemorrhage. Yes, the one that actually has a chance to fortify you, to really keep your fortify up continuously versus bosses. While leveling, you can take Acolyte's Hemorrhage, but you want to swap this later on. Then we'll obviously slam full Blood Surge as much as we can. Important, also imperfectly balanced, and we're actually playing Hood Flash in this build with full 3 points. Lastly, Corpse Explosion only gets 1 single point in. We don't need more here, no radius, no damage, no anything. 1 point in Blood Mist with the bonus corpses as well, and also a triple point in Grim Harvest for the maximum essence with triple point in Fueled by Death. And then we're actually not playing a single curse or anything. 3 points Death Reach for the multiplicative damage and 3 points Death Embrace. Technically, we could make a bit better Corpse Explosion radius just to have your Corpse Explosion hit more and have more chances on lucky hit. And we can do that by taking 1 point out of Necrotic Carapace. I was playing that, but I didn't see any benefit from it. So let's go for the Enhanced Corpse Explosion to just have it a bit smoother. For the Black Scales, we only have 1 point in Gruesome Mending. It's fine. The 10% bonus heal is good. We don't need much more. Then 3 ranks Tides of Blood, 3 ranks Colossus Blood, and only 1 rank in Transfusion because the lucky hit chance is abysmal anyways. It can only happen every 4 seconds anyways, so that's fine. The same goes for Drain Vitality, just a little chance for a little bit more Fortify. Then we can have our Corpse Tendrils actually do Blighted Corpse Tendrils for the Blood Orbs, because the Blood Orbs that will spawn will actually reduce our cooldown timer on the Overpowers and, well, he already overheal us tremendously, so why not? Memento Mori and And very important, the Bone Storm fully tacked out, plus 2 points in Inspiring Leader for that little bit extra attack speed, because every bit of attack speed is important. Now keep in mind, if you don't have the Littlest Wall yet, I would remove the points out of Bone Storm and play them in Iron Maiden with Enhanced Iron Maiden to give you the essence back, because that is your banger essence production while leveling. But as soon as you have the Littlest Wall, Iron Maiden goes out. Now how would a tier 100 dungeon play? You throw on your Beria, then you run in, blood mist, blood surge, make an unlimited amount of storms that just keeps you healthy, and just keep deleting everything left, right, and center. There's a bunch of elites you might be wanting to not get hit by the electricity damage because that one hurt tremendously. Take 2 potions, pull them together, nuke them away. Don't run out of essence while you're doing so. This is the important part. Like literally don't refill essence like instantly, and if you need it, now you could go into your blood mist, hit him, essence, dead, grip key, and off to the boss now. The interesting part is that due to my glyphs being very unleveled and everything not being high up yet, the amount of damage I'll get bonus is tremendous. I mean, we're missing out on 1,000+ overpower percent. We're missing currently out on another 300% critical strike damage and some other powerful things to just in total boost our millions we're already doing. And that's just crazy when you think about it. See, there's a single target and usually that's what you struggle with, but now it just goes so fast. Now, tier 100 boss with level 92. There are a few things to consider here. You want to try to have Bone Storm up as much as possible. We're going to throw the Bone Storm on. We're going to use our auto attack to trigger another Bone Storm, and then we're going to start just blasting away. As you can see, we'll restore everything. Then we're going into our Blood Mist to become unstoppable. Some bonus damage, trigger your Corpse Tendrils if you need to. Do more, dash more to get more essence. Yes, the essence instantly get refilled. Dash more to get more essence. Use a little bit of auto attacks to refill the essence with your lucky hit instantly. Then keep on blasting and really just keep the essence up. Dash again to get a little bit more essence. And you just notice how we're just not as essence starved as we have ever been. And again, I mean, we're level 92 against a tier 100 boss. This couldn't have failed smoother. It's just brilliant. And this is what I'm talking about. Dominate not 21, Essence Glyph not even 15. Sacrificial could be way higher for bonus damage. I mean, my freaking exploit is level 1 as well. Don't worry, we have a level 100 follow-up to show you the real damage, the full version for the Abattoir of Zir. And if you're now more interested in the Shadow build, check it out, or rather know how armor actually works in the game. Enjoy.